Welcome to the 129th season of the Canadian Club Toronto, Canada's podium. For over a century, this stage has united visionaries and leaders from politics, business, community, and the arts to share insights on the most pressing issues of our time. And with Canada in a pivotal moment, it's more important than ever that we come together.
We've been having important discussions and debates around this podium in this country for well over a century. I call this a historic podium of record.
Our club's always been a forum for visionaries, public figures, and decision makers to command attention to the issues of our time.
The Canadian Club is one of the most important podiums anywhere in the world that a Canadian can speak to, tell Canadians what it is that they think, develop those thoughts. And so I want to thank you for that very, very much.
Please join me in thanking our esteemed panelists today.
Through our programs and events, including our youth and young leaders programs, our diversity partnerships, our joint events, and our media and social media opportunities, we offer you access to dynamic political, social, and business figures from abroad and right here at home.
The platform from which the eloquence of Canada has flowed all of that time, whether it be business, education, politics, sports, arts and culture. If someone wants to say something to Canadians about this country and about the future of this country, this is the venue you choose.
Good afternoon again, members and guests, and a special welcome to those of you joining us online at canadianclub.org. My name is Shazanne Chu, President, Canadian Club Toronto, and your host for today. Today's conversation couldn't be more timely. With rising global instability, there is growing urgency around securing our digital infrastructure and establishing Canadian leadership in technologies like artificial intelligence. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize the generous support of our sponsors. Today's event is presented by RBC Capital Markets. We also thank Aecon as our event sponsor. Thank you for making today's conversation possible. To our season sponsor, Canadian Bankers Association, and our official airline sponsor, Air Canada, we appreciate your ongoing support. And Canadian Club Toronto is proud to partner with Canada's Forest Trust Corporation for the third consecutive year as our exclusive nature partner. We are also happy to welcome a table from the Vector Institute, where the next generation of AI leaders is being nurtured. As a reminder, to stay up to date with upcoming events, on-demand content, and membership opportunities, please visit canadianclub.org. We also encourage you to share today's event on social media. Now, I'm sure you'll have many questions about today's topics, from AI to infrastructure to Canada's digital future. Please use the Q&A cards on your tables, and our volunteers will come and pick them up. For those of you online, please use the Submit a Question button you'll find on the right side of your screen. And now, it is my pleasure to invite Claire Sturgis, Managing Director and Canada Head Industrials in CME Investment Banking, RBC Capital Markets, to introduce our esteemed speaker today. Thank you.
Thank you, Shazanne, and good afternoon, everyone. We're living in an exceptional moment of transformation, and building the next generation of infrastructure is crucial for Canada's future. When we say infrastructure, we're not just talking about roads, bridges, and power grids, but also digital foundations like data systems, networks, and the very discussed topic of AI that connect us. To remain competitive, Canada must develop its own AI capabilities that prioritize data security, drive economic growth, and support competitiveness. That requires investment, technology, and vision, bringing businesses and governments together. This mission is at the heart of RBC's value as a sponsor. We're committed to making progress possible with a more inclusive, sustainable, and prosperous future. Few leaders are better placed to speak to this than our two distinguished speakers today. Their perspectives on innovation, connectivity, and Canada's economic resilience continue to shape our national agenda. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mirko Bibic, President and CEO of BCE Inc. and Bell Canada, and my colleague John Stackhouse, Senior Vice President, Office of the CEO at RBC. Mirko is a visionary leader who has been instrumental in shaping the future of Canada's communications landscape. Under his leadership, BCE has navigated intense competition and regulatory pressures, maintaining its leadership position as Canada's largest communications company. Bell has invested billions in next-generation networks, helping bridge the digital divide and ensuring that Canadians in both cities and in rural communities alike are connected to opportunities. Earlier this month, Mirko and his leadership team unveiled BCE's 3-year strategic plan at its Investor Day, a roadmap designed to drive sustainable growth. Bell also launched its refreshed brand platform, Connection is Everything, which underscores the foundation of the company's strategy, prioritizing the customer, developing best-in-class networks, leading AI-powered enterprise solutions, and building Bell into a digital media and content powerhouse. Mirko also serves on the board of RBC, and his expertise and perspectives, combining infrastructure and new technologies, have been invaluable. Joining Mirko in conversation today is John Stackhouse, who leads RBC Thought Leadership, steering research and engagement on big ideas that drive prosperity for Canada. Issues that matter most to our clients, from AI, technology, skills, energy, and climate to social change. John is a best-selling author, and his most recent book, Planet Canada, explores the influence of Canadians abroad on our country's future and reminds us that Canada's strength has always come from our openness to ideas. John also serves as a senior fellow at the C.D. Howe Institute, the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy, and sits on the National Committee of the Aga Khan Foundation of Canada. Before joining RBC, John was the editor-in-chief of the Globe and Mail, framing many of the national conversations that continue to define Canada today. Together, Mirko and John bring complementary perspectives on how Canada can and must build a strong partnership and innovative infrastructure to define our economic sovereignty in the years ahead. With that, please join me in welcoming Mirko to the stage. And thank you again for joining us.
All right, thank you, Claire. This doesn't adjust. Thank you, Claire, and thanks everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. It's not taken for granted that you would spend the time that you are during your busy week with us here. Again, thank you. It's great to be back here at the Canadian Club. I was last here more than 2 years ago. Since then, it's only been 2 years, but the world has changed a lot. And so too has Bell. And Claire, you kind of give a little bit of a sneak preview as to how we've changed. The Canadian economy is certainly changing. Our industry is changing. And technology is advancing at an unprecedented pace. And the AI revolution is in full swing. And we all know, I think, that it has the potential to change how we work, how we live, and how we connect. And you referred to global instability. It's certainly rising. And Canada and other countries are reassessing long-standing relationships that in some cases certainly do feel far less solid than not too long ago. And against that backdrop, for the past 18 months, I'd say, we've been reshaping our strategy at BCE and at Bell, and we really are well positioned for growth in this new environment. And today I'm going to take some time to show you why, and I'm going to take a deeper look at one area in particular, and that's AI, of course. So we have a re-energized Bell, and I'm really proud to lead the re-energized team. We celebrated our 145th anniversary this year, and we've adapted to that fast-changing landscape. And Claire, you mentioned our Investor Day, which we had 2 weeks ago, and we reinforced, as you just did here, that everything we do as a company is centered around 4 strategic priorities, and they're putting the customer first, delivering the best fiber and wireless networks, leading in enterprise with AI-powered solutions, and building a digital media and content powerhouse. And as you mentioned, we were really pretty pumped to unveil our new brand platform and our new tagline, "Connection is Everything." And it really does reflect the full breadth of what we do to serve our customers in a world where connection matters more than ever. It really does. I mean, it's fundamental. And so we lead the country's largest fiber network and the best 5G plus network. And this year, actually right at the beginning of August, we completed our acquisition of Ziply Fiber, and that established our U.S. fiber footprint. And what that acquisition did is it cemented Bell as the 3rd largest fiber internet provider in North America. And Ziply's secret to success is the fastest fiber network in America and a commitment to deliver a refreshingly great experience to all our customers where Ziply Fiber operates. Now, the enterprise segment, we're responding to your needs as our customers by modernizing our core services and providing AI-powered solutions that help you deliver better outcomes to your own customers. And that's why Bell Business Markets is #1 in enterprise. We're the most trusted network and solutions provider to all levels of government and the largest businesses in the country, and many of you are here in this room. In the past year, we've launched 3 game-changing AI-powered solutions businesses. Each one of them in their own right positions us for growth. So we have Ateco, that's our service integrator for AI automation platforms. We have Bell Cyber, our cybersecurity center of excellence, and AI Fabric, Canada's largest full-stack AI compute project. Ateco is based in Montreal, Bell Cyber in Toronto, and Bell AI Fabric is run out of BC. Truly national. Our goal is to double the revenue from these new businesses to $1.5 billion annually by 2028. Now, I could spend a lot of time talking about each of these businesses, but today I'm going to focus on one area that's dominating discussions in boardrooms, newsrooms, and cabinet rooms across the country, and that's Canada's AI moment. So the federal government set a clear ambition, right? It's to build the strongest economy in the G7 by focusing on productivity and competitiveness. So the uncertainty of the past year, which has been surfaced already a couple of times, has forced policymakers and business leaders to reevaluate many assumptions about our economic relationships. But there is consensus among Canadians that we need to invest in an economy that isn't as dependent on others as it has been in the past. And here's the reality. I don't think we can achieve this ambition without the private sector. I think that's pretty obvious. I also don't think we can achieve the ambition without digital infrastructure like fiber networks. And I don't think we can do it without everyone leaning into AI. Because AI is a force accelerating productivity and enabling Canadian businesses to lead the way in reshaping our economy. And success for both public and private sectors depends on broad AI adoption, the requisite talent, and new infrastructure capacity. And that comes with an imperative to ensure that our success as a country is not contingent on the goodwill of others. And that's to protect our digital sovereignty, and it's to make sure that no one can turn Canada off. And technological sovereignty goes far beyond where data is located. It means authority over compute, it means authority over action, it means authority over data storage and movement, and over governance. That's digital sovereignty. It means control, and control over the systems that power our economy and protect our security. And so to me, it boils down to this. At all times, but certainly in the most critical and precarious times, who do we trust to oversee Canada's AI moment? Now, we issued a poll this morning, or we released a poll this morning, rather, and it's a Harris poll. It was commissioned by Bell and underscores that AI is an enterprise priority central to long-term business strategies. We surveyed executive-level decision makers from Canadian-based companies with more than 1,000 employees, and the results are pretty clear. 75% say AI is a strategic enterprise-wide priority. 56% say AI will be core to their company's future, and 99% plan to invest in AI over the next 12 to 24 months. And confidence in Canada's AI potential is equally strong. 95% of leaders surveyed say Canada is well positioned to be a global leader in AI. It's pretty important, as digital sovereignty is becoming non-negotiable. Now, again, with those rising global and geopolitical pressures, 9 in 10 business leaders say Canadian data must stay right here in Canada, especially sensitive data, such as health information, financial information, intellectual property, and information related to national security. When at Bell, when we talk to our customers, both in the public and private sectors, we're hearing that they're right on the verge of AI adoption at scale, and they want Canadian partners to help them. And that's where Bell AI Fabric, one of our new businesses, fits right in. It's built for Canada, in Canada. Bell AI Fabric delivers full-stack AI solutions that allow businesses to develop and control made-in-Canada AI systems on a scale not otherwise possible. So this is what Bell AI Fabric is. It's our leading fiber and 5G networks. It's Canada's largest sovereign purpose-built AI data centers, hardware infrastructure through our partnerships with Grok, Buzz HPC, and others, advanced software, including large language models through our partnership with Cohere, and integration of AI automation platform through our professional services firm, Ateco, which is, again, one of the businesses we launched this year. Our first AI data facility was launched in Kamloops. It's been live since June, and we have other facilities coming online later this year, and we have additional capacity at Thompson Rivers University expected early next year. Bell AI Fabric is fully compliant with Canada's sovereign AI principles, ensuring that infrastructure and data remain under Canadian jurisdiction, free from foreign government interference. So, if your data has to move from St. John's to Vancouver and points in between, we can ensure that they always stay in Canada. So expanding into AI like this was a natural step for Bell. Our nationwide fiber networks, our deep customer relationships, and the trust we've built up over that 145 years are very, very unique advantages. And we've had demand, sales, and customers since day one. What we're doing with Bell AI Fabric is we're delivering cloud services for Canadian businesses as a trusted alternative to US-owned providers that have traditionally dominated the market. And we're partnering with Canadian tech leaders like Cohere and Coveo and others to round out our offering. Our partnership with Cohere is a great example. So we signed the partnership with Cohere early August, so less than 9 weeks ago. And we are already adopting their North Agentic AI platform internally within Bell, 9 weeks. And we're also packaging it for our enterprise customers. Bell is moving at startup speed, and we're capitalizing on the opportunities ahead of us. So I want to also recognize, I've got my RBC friends here, I want to recognize Dave Mackay and the RBC team as well for their work championing RBC's own leading position in AI, and also their partnership with Cohere. And I'm not doing that because they're sponsoring my speech here, and that and John is going to be asking me some questions later. I'm highlighting RBC here for a very specific reason, because what you're hearing is two leading Canadian institutions, Bell and RBC, enabling Canada's AI ecosystem. It's really important because a sovereign AI ecosystem can't be built by one company alone. To make this a nation-building project, it has to be a national effort. This isn't a project. It's an integrated technology supply chain where each layer enriches the next so that data becomes insight. Okay, data becomes insight. Insight becomes action. Action becomes a business outcome. And the totality of many business outcomes drives economic impact and competitive differentiation. If we treat it as a project, it won't work. If we treat it as an integrated technology supply chain, it will. So here we have an opportunity as a country to transform our underlying digital assets, and we're strong in our underlying digital assets. We can transform those into an economic advantage, and we should take that opportunity. Properly executed, sovereign digital infrastructure drives productivity, creates prosperity for citizens and businesses, and positions us for the new AI era. And this is also important. Unlike digital ecosystems dominated only by global tech giants, AI is actually still pretty much in its formative stage. Certainly as it relates to the industrialization of AI, we're in the early days. So we're not yet locked into platforms and systems that can't be unwound. And that's why now is the perfect time to support Canadian tech companies who've shown they can deliver leading-edge AI solutions. And that's how we turn technical capability into something real. Industrialized, practical, scalable, and even exportable. No reason why we can't have ambition. Even exportable business outcomes at scale. And that's exactly what Bell's doing with the Canadian Sovereign AI Alliance that we've created. And that's what Bell AI Fabric's all about. So on that front, we're proud to partner with Canadian companies like Cohere, like Covio, like ThinkOn, institutions like Vector Institute and Mila. They're all doing incredible work to advance AI in Canada. We've partnered with Simon Fraser University to connect their Cedar Supercomputing Center in Burnaby with the future Bell AI Fabric site at Thompson Rivers University, which will deliver shortly, and that's going to deliver scalable, secure, and locally controlled AI infrastructure. We have time here, but we don't have much time to build the Canadian-owned and operated full-stack infrastructure that will strengthen our economy and help us to compete globally. And our governments and the private sector, clearly the business community, have a fundamental role to play in this vision of a fully Canadian tech ecosystem. If we can bring together academia and industry, large players, small players, nascent players, we can nurture the next generation of AI leaders and ensure they remain in Canada. Because when we keep our best and brightest here in the country, we protect our national security, our economic resilience, and our leadership. So, no reason why Canada can't continue to lead in AI. We shouldn't follow. But to do so, we need to move beyond cautious, incremental, siloed approaches and act quickly to accelerate adoption. And that's going to spark innovation. We can do it. The global AI race is no longer about algorithms in labs. That's really important, and we've led there, and we should be fiercely proud of how we've led there. But now the race is about industrial deployment at scale. And what I'm talking about here is embedding AI in factories, in call centers, in farms, in business processes, and in public infrastructure. So together we can build AI in Canada for Canada, and the time to act is now. And let's do it together. If we do it right, we'll look back with pride, knowing that we seized Canada's AI moment. We didn't let it slip away. And again, really appreciate you taking the time with me this afternoon. Thank you.
That was fantastic. Really inspiring.
Thank you, John.
Go Canada.
Go Canada for sure.
So I've been looking forward to this conversation for a good while, Mirko, and thanks for including me.
In
on
the old
stage
days,
here.
I didn't look forward to these conversations.
We're still here. So we're going to talk mainly about Canada's AI ambitions, some of the challenges we're up against, beyond what Bell is doing, but also what corporations like Bell are doing. We'll take questions from the floor. I think we've got just up to just before 1:30. But I thought, Mirko, since we're having a conversation about AI, it would be entirely appropriate for me to maybe turn to an AI buddy for a bit of help here.
Uh-oh.
So I went to Perplexity, a friend of us both, and said, what might be some good questions to ask Mirko Bibic for a Canadian Club fireside? And lo and behold, the questions are, what is your vision for building the next generation of digital infrastructure in Canada? How can Canadian business and communities best seize the opportunity affected by advanced network investments?
I think maybe we did the same thing when we wrote the speech.
Yeah. What do you see as the most significant hurdles Canada faces in establishing sovereign AI? Wow. So thanks, everyone, for coming. I could just have Perplexity.
We have a really interesting consumer offering with Perplexity. So we make it available to our customers with our wireless plans. So there you go. We're really leaning into AI in multiple directions, on the enterprise side and on the consumer side.
How do you think I got Perplexity?
Yeah.
Pro?
Exactly. So I'll plug for that.
It's along with my Crave. It's
Buy Bell Wireless.
It's a good offering. So, Mirko, I was going to start by asking, what's Bell doing in the middle of the AI race? But I think you articulated that fairly well there. But you're no longer just up against Rogers and TELUS, right? You're now stepping into the arenas of a Microsoft, a Google, great companies, but you're bringing something special to it. What does Bell have that allows you to compete against those kinds of heavyweights?
Yes, thank you. So we've considered that deeply when we've, in crafting our strategy. So first, what we have is the ability to really lean in with credibility in the notion of sovereignty in its full sense of the word. And our unique advantages are, the networks, the infrastructure. We have deep enterprise relationships that span decades, and the trust that we've established as a brand over those 145 years. And the strategy is really formed out of talking to our customers. As I said, when we talk to our customers with whom we have these relationships, it's pretty clear to us that they're on the cusp of industrializing AI, basically embedding AI at scale within their own enterprises. But they want it to be in Canada. They want their data to be protected. They want help. And so so we got a moment in time here, and we realized we had a moment in time when we developed the strategy. So if you look at the companies that we're talking about, so we have AI Fabric, which provides the full stack ecosystem for Canadian enterprises to lean into to activate their strategy. And then it's hard. Like embedding AI, integrating AI into your environment is hard. And with Ateco, we can make that easier for them because we provide that the integration of these AI automation platforms into our customers' environment. By the way, it's no accident. We created Ateco. It came out from an acquisition we made of a very innovative Montreal-based company, and it was kind of a two-sided strategy. Ateco helps us integrate AI into our environment, and then that creates the flywheel, and we're able to offer that expertise to our customers. So we have Ateco. We have Bell AI Fabric for the infrastructure, and of course you want to wrap the whole thing in terms of cybersecurity, which is critical as well, so that's Bell Cyber. So there was the moment in time where it all seemed to make sense. And to your question about competing with global players, it's not an either or. These are complementary approaches because the global players that you surfaced in your question, they are major partners of ours. They're major suppliers, and in some cases, they're very important go-to-market partners of ours as well. So our vision is a Canadian tech stack here and a hyperscale stack here that we can frame because of some of the unique conversations we're having with them. We can frame as fully sovereign, and we can have both interoperable. So I like to use Minister Solomon's term. It's technological sovereignty, not solitude. So we have parallel visions here that are compatible.
I like the way you actually visualize that, and we'll get to how to connect that, because I don't think anyone wants to build a wall around the country. But let me go a little deeper on the use cases for this, because it's not only a strategy, you've got a clear business plan and commitment to the market, $1.5 billion. That's impressive. Maybe give us a sense of the opportunities you're seeing out in the market. What kind of companies, what kind of use cases do you think will get you fastest to that $1.5 billion goal?
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to harness AI in two ways: embed it at scale within Bell aggressively, and that's going to help us in many respects drive to a different goal, which is we've also at Investor Days committed to $1.5 billion in cost savings, and we're halfway there, but there's another $750 million to go. AI is going to be important there, and then there's the $1.5 billion of annual revenues by 2028. Use cases, there are many. I like to focus on use cases that, one, deliver a better customer experience, a better customer outcome. Two, simplify complex processes. And three, make our employees better. And a good one to me is how we're using AI to augment employees in the call center space or in the customer service, customer experience space. So I'll give you 3 examples quickly. So we've created an AI simulator which onboards new agents. So instead of the classic old kind of classroom learning, let's say, they come on, they train with the AI simulator, and the AI simulator can put a new employee through an experience of a happy customer, a frustrated customer, an angry customer, and all kinds of scenarios as to, there was a service issue, a rate plan issue, or they want to buy more. So they train on the simulator so that then when we drop them into the live environment, they're much, much better prepared than before, than in the old days. And then when they're in a live environment and a customer calls, we use AI to surface in real time to the agent scenarios or potential solutions. So that allows the agent to deliver a better outcome for the customer faster. And then the third leg of that same stool is coaching. The agent can be coached immediately after the call or at the end of the day or at the end of the week based on key parameters, and we score the agent. You did really well in these 3 key things. You can improve on these 2 things. And those recommendations is based on the thousands and thousands of interactions that all our agents have with their customers. So now the agent doesn't have to rely on a team leader once in a while coming around, reading a transcript and say, hey, I noticed you did this and that. It's real-time coaching. And we've seen that the agents who've gone through those steps are far more productive. So they get paid more, and we benefit. And ultimately, the customer does.
How many people today have used AI? And pretty much everyone. And the answer is everyone, whether you know it or not. How many today have used AI for work? There you go. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Let's get into more of the Canadian strategy here. You talked about your strategic relationship with Cohere. We're very fortunate to have a similar relationship and really love watching that company grow, but also challenge us in helping us grow. It's very, 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 very cool. What you said about leadership mattering is critical. So kind of you to mention Dave, but that was a critical decision that he's talked about publicly, where he said to the team, essentially, the tie goes to Cohere, or the tie goes to a Canadian provider. And that sent a signal. And the signal, and I'll speak maybe for Nick here, has been really important to Cohere because it's now able to go out into the world. And every entrepreneur knows that often the first question you get internationally is, who's your biggest customer back home? And they're now able to say, well, it's Royal Bank of Canada and Bell Canada. Next question. That tends to kind of move you on to the next question. That's fantastic. We need to do more of that as a country. Tell us more about what that means for Bell. What's the advantage here for Bell in partnering with a Canadian?
Okay. I'll give you maybe a sentence or two on a more a narrow approach or self-interested approach. There's a big growth opportunity for us. It's all the things I've already talked about. So, our job is to take this wonderful platform that's Bell and, generate growth in the future. And again, if you look at those elements, it's a moment in time. It's what our customers are asking of us, so that makes sense. And then you link that to what we've always really done well at Bell. We've always connected Canadians to the latest technology, so it just fits the bill. So, and then how do we do that? Well, internally, we've done great things with Cohere, and I think it's been mutually beneficial. Like we're certainly going to drive a lot of benefit, but I think Cohere is also learning how to integrate this within a large environment, complex legacy environment like Bell, and we're moving fast, right? And so it's self-reinforcing there. So that's kind of the Bell answer, but there's also an opportunity. I take a step back, and this is what makes my job, a lot of fun. There's an opportunity right now to build something much bigger, and Nick and Aidan were telling me, and I think you've said it publicly, well over 90% of their revenues are outside Canada. Like, how can that be? And this would be before RBC leaning in earlier this year, and now Bell. And then I hope I can say this. He's going to kill me if I can't, but I'm going to say it anyway. Coveo, Louis Tetsu at Coveo was telling me 98% of his revenues are outside Canada. Like, how can that be? Like, what is the problem here? And so, if RBC's doing it, Bell can do it, and all of us can do it, and it's good technology on both sides. And so this is an opportunity. And then, from my perspective, I said back, this is what Bell used to do years and years and years ago. Let's go back to that. So that's the fun part. I think it's energized the team as well. We're seeing that we're doing things that Bell 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, would have been known for, and we're right back to that.
What kind of things? Take us deeper into
creating these Canadian ecosystems that are looked at around the world as models. And advancing the communications landscape back at the time, investing massively in innovation and in R&D. Those are the things we used to do.
Give us a sense, Mirko, of a bit more of a sense of what that Canadian tech stack looks like, especially in parallel and in conjunction or connection with global tech stacks. We're not an island, but we do want some version of data and AI sovereignty.
Right. So here's the vision we have. A full Canadian tech stack, and I can outline what that is in a second, we really do need that for all the reasons I said in my remarks, which I won't repeat. We also, obviously, as a country and as businesses, and I'm sure the public sector needs to rely on the very best of global technologies, and we have Google here. Like, why would we not want to use their amazing technology, globally leading? So we obviously can't, move away from that. But we can create a sovereign frame around those global technologies, as I said a little bit earlier, build our fully Canadian tech stack so that, that we're in complete control of. Over here, if we put globally leading technology in a sovereign frame, then you can't turn Canada off in that respect either. And of course, you want everything to be interoperable. So that's the vision that, and it's not Bell AI Fabric, that's the vision that our partners and what we call the Canadian Sovereign AI Alliance, I've mentioned a couple of companies in that alliance several times, and including ThinkOn, that I referred to in my speech, and others. That's the vision we have. Canadian tech stack here, globally leading stack here, and interoperability.
Got some questions here from the floor, and I think we've got only 5 or so minutes left, so I'll try to be quick. A good challenging one here about how to balance an approach to sovereign AI within Bell while having a portion of your business in the U.S. It's probably true for all of us. 25% of RBC's business is in the U.S., so we're trying to find the same balance. I'd say it's the same probably for most companies in the room.
Yeah, so our in terms of the let's take it from the big acquisition in the U.S. through Ziply Fiber. Okay, we know fiber is our business. We are a fiber-first company. We know fiber really, really, really well. There's a tremendous growth opportunity in the U.S. They're so far behind Canada when it comes to fiber. So it's an opportunity to take our scale and our expertise and go to the U.S. with an incredible local management team and generate more growth for BCE, and why wouldn't we want Canadian companies to expand internationally? And the AI businesses that I mentioned today, AI Fabric, and certainly Bell Cyber, and certainly Ateco, clearly the expertise there is exportable, and we have U.S. client base in those businesses as well, which we clearly will want to expand. And if we take the vision that I highlighted or surfaced in my remarks to a logical point, like if we build this powerful Canadian tech stack, I would hope that it's exportable. Like, why not? So that's how I see the complete compatibility between driving a Canada-first AI-powered solutions business and expanding globally to generate growth for BCE and our shareholders.
I want to turn to the data center phenomenon. We're seeing extraordinary amounts of capital being invested every day in data centers, much more in the U.S. than in Canada. Wondering how you're thinking about this phenomenon, almost a hockey stick curve of investment. What's your perspective on that? And then also, what does Canada need to do to bend the curve beyond what firms like you are doing?
So the first thing is I see huge opportunity. And what we're doing, though, is we are leaning into this. We get a customer, we build. So we are not taking a build it, they will come approach. Every time we commission the launch of a new Bell AI Fabric purpose-built AI center is because we have the demand and a customer. And so to us, and that's how we're leaning into our investments in that responsible way. So very reasonable approach. Now, back to the vision of this Canadian technology ecosystem. It would be, frankly, it would be really easy for us, given what I just said, to build a purpose-built AI data center and to sell spot inferencing, or to sell the capacity to any and all comers wherever they are. We do that, revenue will come, EBITDA will come. But we're trying to do something bigger. And we right down to what the name was. The name was chosen for a reason, Bell AI Fabric. We want to create that fabric of Canadian tech leaders that takes the country forward. So what do we need? We need our customers and the public sector to lean in with us. And this is not about, we don't have time to waste. So I think we've created this alliance that's just ready to be harnessed. To benefit everyone. Yeah, it'll benefit Bell, what's wrong with that? But it'll benefit Cohere, it'll benefit Covio, it'll benefit OpenText, it'll benefit ThinkOn. Isn't that what we want?
We've got just a couple of minutes left. Yeah. What does the country need to do or to consider and do to get behind this kind of effort, but to add to the momentum?
Oh, I think we have no choice but to lean in. So the business community needs to industrialize AI themselves. So they need to integrate AI within their environments. If you don't, you're just going to get passed by. And if every small, medium, and large enterprise in Canada does that, including the public sector, the flywheel will spin.
And then the country, as represented by governments, what can be done, including proper regulation of what's a fairly new frontier for us?
Buy Canada. In other words, be lighthouse customers.
Be lighthouse customers.
Be lighthouse customers.
I think we're at the buzzer. Perplexity was suggesting I ask you about leadership style. It said you'd probably be a techno-optimist and speak pragmatically about the way you work with your executive team, but we'll leave that to another conversation. Mirko, thanks for rolling with us. It's been great to spend time with you.
Appreciate it.
And handing it back to Derek now to wrap it up.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Senior Vice President of Aecon Utilities, it's a pleasure to be here, and Aecon is a proud sponsor of today's event. Thank you to Mirko Bibic, President and CEO of our valued client Bell Canada and BCE Inc., for the insightful discussion with RBC's John Stackhouse. I think I speak for everyone when I say the conversation around robust opportunities to continue building Canada's future is inspiring. We applaud Bell Canada's commitment to advancing the way internet access is delivered to customers and how critical a component it is to securing Canada's future. Aecon's decades-long partnership with Bell is underscored by the success of the Fiber to the Home program, where Aecon has provided the expertise to upgrade telecommunications networks and infrastructure in neighborhoods and businesses wherever Bell is building. As an important work continues in advancing the next generation of nation-building projects, Aecon and Bell are like-minded in our commitment to building critical telecommunications infrastructure that supports energy transition with unwavering dedication to safety, collaboratively working with Indigenous communities. We look forward to continuing to advance this relationship with these priorities in mind, while strengthening the economy through the networks we deliver, the jobs we create, and the local partnerships we have. It's a true honor to have been part of wrapping things up today for the Canadian Club and a highly regarded industry leader like Mirko Bibic. On behalf of everyone in attendance and the Aecon team on hand, thank you very much, Mirko.
Thank you so much, Derek and Aecon, for your support today. Mirko, on behalf of Canadian Club Toronto, thank you for sharing your exciting vision for Canada's digital future and ecosystem. Your insights on sovereignty, infrastructure, and innovation have given us much to think about, and we look forward to seeing our efforts come to fruition. John? As always, thank you for deftly guiding today's conversation through thoughtful and engaging questions with perplexity. Once again, thank you to today's sponsors, RBC Capital Markets and Aecon, and many thanks to our production partner, BVC Live, for their very responsive event support today. As a reminder, we have a dynamic lineup of upcoming events. November 3rd, the Honourable Peter Bethlenfalvy, Ontario's Minister of Finance, returns to our podium to share the province's fiscal outlook and priorities in advance of the fall economic statement. November 10th, we welcome Her Worship Olivia Chow, Mayor of Toronto. And on November 13th, the Honourable François-Philippe Champagne, Canada's Minister of Finance, joins us to discuss the federal budget and more. Please visit CanadianClub.org for full event details and registration. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to welcoming you back again soon. And go Jays, Game 5.